right, we begin this hour with the battle against ISIS. Trump says ISIS is completely defeated, and Secretary of State Mike Pompeo echoes that sentiment.
ISIS on election day. Here's ISIS right now, if you look. So there's ISIS, and that's what we have right now, as of last night.
Our mission there hasn't changed. We still have work to do to make sure that radical Islamic terrorism doesn't continue to grow. Thank you all very much.
All right, so while the physical caliphate may have been reduced to a random farmhouse here and there in Syria, new reports have emerged about ISIS funding, which is allowing them to fund terror across the globe still. So joining us to break it all down, our pulse to the Pentagon, former Pentagon official Mike Maloof. All right, Mike, I know I rely on you for all this wealth of knowledge you have. What do you make of ISIS and their funding? How are they continuing to grow their coffers? Meanwhile, their caliphate is decimated.
Well, they are growing their coffers through extortion, in the areas that they actually still occupy in certain little pockets. They built up a huge reservoir when they were at strength, and they opened up major accounts in the West.
Bank accounts?
Bank accounts and hidden accounts. They also have the so-called Hawala system, which still operates in various countries. And particularly through Turkey, through Lebanon, through you name it in the Middle East, countries that are not that are away from the caliphate, but are there to.
They're accessible to them.
But they are totally accessible through business fronts. They have tremendous businesses still that the U.S. is still trying to uncover. I mean, it's a real puzzle.
First, what does Hawala mean, and what do these businesses look like? These ISIS businesses. I mean, I can't imagine there's signs. There are signs outside that say ISIS.
The Hawala system basically is that you make a you want to transfer money to, let's say, England from Lebanon,
okay,
for an example. Money
for terror purposes.
For terror purposes. You don't. There's no wire transfers.
Okay.
The mom and pop shop will acquire the funds on one end, and then issue a password, and then the people in the other end will have that password and approach an entity in the country, the targeted country, and give that password and acquire the funds for whatever. So no money transfers.
So it's kind of old school.
It's old school. I mean, it's
literally password protected.
Everything.
Person to person.
It defies all technologies. It's hard to uncover. It's almost impossible.
But who are the people? Where are they getting this money? I mean, are there families donating money to ISIS? Is there the royal family involved?
Well, as I said, they've
Saudi?
accumulated large amounts. They have companies and entities that they have that are ISIS fronts, if you will. I mean, even though they had a caliphate, they were not. The ISIS was very busy in developing this alternative source of financing, knowing at some point the caliphate may not last, but they still wanted to, because they have metastasized in all these countries and people are going back to these other Western countries. The money is available. I mean, it may be a little more. It may take a little longer. It may take. It may be a little more difficult, but they're going to get it in time. That's why they're going to last for quite some time.
How much of this comes from dirty oil?
A lot of it. A lot of it.
Where are they getting it from?
Turkey. A lot of the funds and the oil that was paying for a lot of ISIS generated activities went through Turkey. They've established fronts in Turkey. Who knows which ones they are? Again, because of strained relationships between Turkey and the United States. Now, I doubt seriously that we're going to see a lot of cooperation from that, but. Depends upon the mood of Erdogan, the president, at any given point. But the reality is that they had years to build up this extensive network. Okay. Sure, we'll find some, but then they'll have others that'll be activated.
Well, like you mentioned, a lot of their fighters came from Western countries that have traveled into Syria. So obviously, some of those guys, like you said, went back home to the West and Europe. Their ideology is continuing to influence a lot of young people by way of the internet, and they're in Europe. How do you crack down on that ideology and stop funding?
Well, it depends upon whether the people who hold those beliefs want to maintain them, or whether they want to reemerge back into their society and
go back to normal.
Go back to normal, or remain as sleepers. And this is because we're going to be seeing a lot of sleeper cells, and because they have returned to an insurgency mode, pretty much like Al-Qaeda is today. They could spring up at any time, anywhere, and who knows? And this makes them even more dangerous.
Not the end of ISIS there, and we'll be having you on to talk about it, I'm sure. Michael Maloof, thank you so much for your expertise.
Thank you.
Hey YouTube, thanks for checking out our channel. We hope you enjoyed the video. We have tons of content for you just like this. For more of RT America's one-of-a-kind news and analysis, be sure to subscribe and never stop questioning more.